friends, how are you? My name is Dr. Heather and I am coming to you live from Overland Park, Kansas. So yes, go Chiefs. Everyone is wearing red. I just forgot to put my red on right now. But today I'm super excited about this topic, getting lots and lots of questions about ketones, low carb, hormone therapy, estrogen, low testosterone. It is a very big topic as we round into 2020. I'm getting a low connection, which means there's people in my house that are connecting to Wi-Fi as we speak. So anyway, let me know who you are, where you're joining us from. If you've got a question for Ask Dr. Heather, drop it down below. Let me know, because that's generally how I formulate my lives, is based on the questions you have, where confusion starts to be. So as it's gotten very, very vogue for people to go get testosterone replacements or estrogen replacements. So let's just do a real big backup a minute. Let's just talk about normal hormone replacement. So first, which I should have labeled this, which I just now remembered, I printed something off. Progesterone actually are steroid hormones. We talk about steroids. I know it's backwards. I forgot to flick it, but cholesterol breaks down into all of our sex hormones. So you'll see DHEA, which is our anti-aging hormone. You'll see all three of the estrogen, estradiols. You'll see testosterone. You'll see aroma. You will see you will see cortisol. You'll see testosterone. That's obviously our body can't break down and make the necessary hormones if we're not eating healthy fats, or if we're taking a cholesterol drug, which stops the enzyme conversion. Right here's what it does. It stops our body from making cholesterol. Then you actually cannot make the hormones. So we're also finding a lot of low testosterone issues or a lot of hormone imbalances because people are taking statins, which actually stop the production. But let's talk about also what we're eating. So we see how pharmaceuticals can play a part of this. We see dietarily, if we're not eating enough fats, that we can't make proper hormones. So I don't know about you, but I have a lot of friends who fought infertility issues, women in their 30s who are actually starting menopause in their 30s, which shouldn't happen until you're 50. We also see people in their 20s, males in their 20s who are having low testosterone issues. There are females in their 20s, 30s, and 40s that are getting testosterone injections. Normal testosterone for women should be about, and I'm in my 50s, so between 35 and 50, normal testosterone should be anywhere from 36, well, I'd say 26 to 33 would be a normal range. Anytime you get injections with testosterone, your testosterone, because again, it's going to last every 4 months, could be 400, it could be 1200, it could be 1600, because they want it to last for every 4 months. So people get these big testosterone injections, and then it lasts 4 months. I'm telling you, it's causing a havoc on what's happening. So what we're finding is that what happens is it stimulates a hormone called, or an enzyme, not a hormone, an enzyme called aromatase. So when you're doing this excessive testosterone injection on women, and I'm actually an advocate, if your testosterone is below 25, there are herbal supplements, there are dietary things that you can do to actually elevate your testosterone. I'm an advocate for women having testosterone and get more lean muscle mass. Well, you also get a whole host of other things. So let's talk about estrogen for a minute in women specifically. Estrogen's major job is actually to help us create babies. It's also to help us create more fat. It's help us to create secondary sex characteristics like breast and other things. It also is for fat storage. It also helps us with bone formation. It helps us with our HDLs, create our happy cholesterol, also can elevate our triglycerides as well. It also helps us with salt retention. That's why when women start to get in their third trimester of pregnancy, they can actually get elevation of salt retention, or if you go on birth control, you can retain salt. You can get elevated blood pressure when you go on birth control. Also can dysregulate your cortisol level. That's why you can see that happen when women go on birth control or estrogen replacement. We also know that it can also cause some predisposition to cancers. So when we talk about estrogen, there's also estrogenic foods like dairy, which stimulates some estrogenic activity through aromatase. Anytime we eat a carbohydrate, it stimulates the enzyme aromatase, which stimulates estrogenic activity. So we see people eating, especially type 2 diabetic, people who are obese, they stimulate more aromatase activity, which stimulates more estrogen. So we're seeing a very big society who are estrogen dominant. We're seeing gynecomastia, that is male with breast formation, at a very high ratio. We're finding males who have more breast development or gynecomastia, and they're having low testosterone. testosterone. I know I just switched sexes. I'm trying to keep it really targeted here because I made like 3 pages of notes, and I'm trying to choose my words very wisely. Again, let me know where you're joining us from, but I'm trying to let you know or share with you that we are talking about targeted about hormone therapy, but we can also just take a step back and say what's natural for our body. When you're eating a diet high in carbohydrates, it does stimulate aromatase, an enzyme that causes estrogen activity to increase. Estrogen job is to deposit fat, right? Secondary characteristics such as breast. And so what happens is it also pushes down testosterone because the body is always trying to be in balance. When you have low testosterone, you can have a low libido, you can have low fatigue. So you can have low bone formation, low muscle mass, weak muscle mass. So whether it's a male in their 40s or 50s or a female in their 40s or 50s, you definitely want to have your proper ratio of where your testosterone should be. So for women specifically, it should be, again, 25, 26 to 33, not higher than 45, because, again, that's when we start suggesting polycystic ovarian disease, where you get cysts on your ovaries. It creates infertility. It can create hair in places that you do not want, women. So if you're injecting yourself or with your doctor is doing that hormone replacement and your testosterone's in the hundreds, then you're going to start finding, yes, it could increase your libido, but the side effects of having too much testosterone is body hair in places you don't want, facial or on your body places you don't want. You can also cause balding. Think of men as their testosterone starts to get out of balance. They get balding in places they don't want, places here that they don't want. That can happen in women. Also, it can cause a lot of acne issues. It can cause your breast size to actually get much lower as you inject testosterone. Yes, it can cause some increase in muscle mass, but can also cause some masculine-like characteristics. I don't know in my 50s that that's what I'm looking for, more masculine characteristics as I age. It can cause voice changes. Also, progesterone will do that as well. So I'd say that normal aging process actually can push that. It can also cause mood changes. If you have too much testosterone, it can cause short fuses. It can cause mood changes, sensitivity to noise and sound. It can kind of amp you up, so to speak. So they're doing these injections for women specifically every 4 months. So that first month, you're really, really hyped up and your body uses that. And then again, by the 4th month, it comes back down and you go back for another injection. It can also cause miscarriages. So whether you're in your 30s or 40s trying to get, again, more energy, and that's why people generally get these testosterone injections, or for better libido. Sometimes they do it for fat loss because your estrogen dominant eating on the standard American diet. You're stimulating aromatase. Generally, people who are obese are pre-diabetic, and we know 50% of us are type 2 diabetic already. 50% of us, that's a new stat that came out for 2018. They're always a year behind on the stats. 50% of us on this globe right now are pre-diabetic or diabetic. 75% have insulin resistance or metabolic resistance. That's saying that those people, 75% of us, are going to have an aromatase dominant enzyme, which means we're already dumping too much estrogen, plus the PBA, the plastic. We're eating too much dairy, too much soy, because they put soy in everything. Soy lecithin is a really cheap preservative that put in a lot of processed food. We also know that when you're pumping in testosterone into your body, besides causing infertility and miscarriages, it can also cause some different type of endothelial cancers. Again, you can look this up on Dr. Google. You can look it up. I've actually got reference sites I can cite to you if you'd like them. It also can cause some adrenal insufficiencies because your hypothalamus tells your pituitary to release some adrenocorticotropin hormones. So your pituitary tells your adrenal glands to release things like testosterone, estrogen, cortisol, DHEA. There's already things in place for communication for those things to happen, but because of high stress, they don't get released, or because your body doesn't have enough of the proper food or enzymes, it can get released, or because we're not eating enough fat, or you're on a medication that tells your body not to make it, and then you don't have enough of the necessary hormones to make it. There's no way for it to get released if you simply just don't have it, or you're estrogen dominant because of the foods that you're eating and the lifestyle that you're living. So I just want to give some answers. People like, well, the keto is messing with the hormones. I had some intermittent spotting. It's really helping you get back to that normal process of where your body should be regulating. So what keto should do, because with ketogenic diet or just a low carb diet, or let's just talk about about a carbohydrate reduction diet, what's happening is that a carbohydrate reduction diet, just cleaning up what you're doing or just cutting out the snacks, so to speak, forgetting the sodas or sweet tea, not even going clear down to the lower percentage of carbohydrates, you're eliminating that aromatase enzyme from being triggered all the time. So you're stimulating less aromatase. Aromatase is an enzyme that increases estrogenic activity. So if you're having less estrogenic activity, you're having less chance of fat being deposited, or estrogen saying, hey, let's get some more fat deposited. So the less estrogenic activity, the more of a chance your body has to be equalizing out that testosterone. We know things like nuts and seeds and walnuts and salmon and sardines and all those healthy fats, and I won't eat sardines, you guys, I'll say that, but mackerel, oh, yummy, yummy, and salmon, yummy, yummy. Those things actually are great for creating testosterone, and eating some green cruciferous vegetables are also great for creating testosterone. So there are things that you can do. You can also ditch the dairy, you can ditch the soy. Those are lifestyle things, that food diary, lifestyle things that you can do to actually help increase your body's natural ability. Also doing more exercise, more, I did look this up, just make sure that I am quoting it, just doing more alternating between doing endurance training and resistance weight training will also help your body naturally increase your testosterone. So you can do things naturally. And then there's natural herbs. So when you're getting testosterone therapy, most of the time what they're doing is they're just injecting straight testosterone, but you can do it naturally. Give your body saw palmetto, give your body tribulus. You can give your body different enzymes or different ingredients to help stimulate your body to make testosterone. But it makes sense to me, because we know they're also disrupting cortisol, is get your sleep regulated. Stop feeding your body carbohydrates that stimulate aromatase. Stop eating estrogenic foods like dairy and soy. Stop eating out of plastic, which we know that the BPA also stimulates estrogenic activity, or it's called a hormone disruptor. And there's a whole bunch of things that do that. Dryer sheets do that as well. Whole bunch of really simple, free things that you can do to help your body get that balanced out. But I don't even know what to do when women come in and I see that their sheets and they're, oh, here's my last panel of hormones. I don't even know if I'm in menopause or not. And you see that their testosterone is, in the thousands. I'm like, oh my gosh, this should be like in the 30s. What are you doing? And then you look at the side effects. I'm like, are you having hair where you don't want it? Are you losing a bra size? Or like, what's happening? It's furthering on. So it really almost makes me really scared for those people, because again, I'm an advocate for having testosterone in the normal range. I don't want it to go away like, oh, testosterone's bad, because we definitely want to have a good amount of testosterone, because our heart is a muscle. We need to have proper testosterone. We need to have it in the higher 20, low 30s. Sometimes I'll have women come in and their testosterone is 6, and then we want to give them the right exercise, the right diet. And again, it's eliminating carbohydrates, eating nuts and seeds, things that are high in zinc. Zinc is a great vitamin to actually increase that, again, with saw palmetto and tribulus and some other different herbs that you can do to help do that. Make sure there's not an iodine deficiency. The thyroid has a little bit of play to do with that for women as well. Zinc for men is super great for low testosterone, but we also want to make sure that we're eating enough healthy fat so your body can manufacture some testosterone as well. So I had 3 or 4 sheets, but I think I went through that pretty quick. But I always want you to know that this is absolutely meant to be shared, and I want to keep it very simple science so that you understand kind of what's happening in your body. And sometimes what happens is when you're talking about estrogen fat and where you deposit estrogenic fat, and women know this, we talk about secondary sex characteristics. So the scale may not change, but we talk about fat in our breasts changing, or we see that in male who have gynecomastia where they're estrogen dominant when a low testosterone goes. And I've had males come in and they're 40 years old and their testosterone's in the 200s. Well, when you're 90 years old, your testosterone should be in your 200s. When you're 20 years old, your testosterone should be in the 1100s. So when you're 40 or 50, then it should be in around the 600s. So you definitely don't want it being in the 200s when you're 50 years old. And then we go through lifestyle things that you could do, which is reducing stress, getting good sleep, eating foods that are rich to help your body create its own testosterone, and telling your body to do it. When you're sitting around, not sleeping, overstressed out, your body's going to shut off necessary things, and it ends up being hormones that get shut off. It's the same thing happens, with women distance runners. Cycles are the first thing to go, because what's most important is your brain and your heart and your kidneys. So that's why things get shut off. So, let me see, I am going through menopause and having hot flashes and heart palpitations. I have not hormone replacement. So that's a great question. So hot flashes, first thing that we generally recommend when people are having hot flashes is, first of all, cut all the sugar out. If you're having a glass of wine at night or having some type of sugary thing at night, cut the sugar away because of the aromatase, and then maybe add a little bit of flax. Is one of the omega, have like some chia seed or some flax, a flax cake at night. I know there's some controversy about flax. Make sure it's ground, make sure it's organic. You keep it in the freezer. Try that at night. Sometimes a little bit of vitamin E2 or wheat germ can actually help that. We use Simplex F, which is a multivitamin for your thyroid, adrenal glands, and uterus, which actually just help calm it down. But they're really the true way to tell if your body's in menopause. What you do is have a very simple blood draw. What happens if your body's going towards menopause is that your FHS, follicle stimulating hormone, and luteinizing hormone actually go up, and your progesterone and estrogen go down as you get closer towards menopause or premenopause. If you're still cycling, then your luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone, which are secreted from the pituitary, stay low, and then your estrogen and progesterone are still up. The best time to check that is around day 19 to 21. If you can't tell it because your cycles aren't happening every 28 days, but maybe every 40, every this or that, if you're still ovulating and you're still getting some mid-peak discharge, or you're still kind of think you're fluttering and getting some type of ovulation, then just count forward from whatever that maybe event might be, and then just check from there. But your LHS and FHS won't really vary very much, and you should be able to tell from that, and your doctor should be able to help you with that. But it's 2 years, no cycle, no discharge is generally where they diagnose that from. But really, you should have a nice, easy time. You shouldn't be having lots of heart palpitation. You shouldn't be having hot flashes. Try having some more iodine, which would be just some sea salt, and see if that doesn't help. Take a magnesium bath if you're having that at night. But if your hot flashes are so bad where you're changing your clothes in the middle of the night because you're sweating that profusely, then definitely get with a healthcare provider that can help you calm that down. We do help people with that all day long. But I really wanted to hop on here because a lot of people are trying to figure out what's out of balance, when it's out of balance, because your hormones are changing every hour, every minute of the day. So that's why I say, when you get a blood draw, well, it does depend. Your testosterone doesn't change every minute, every hour of the day, but your estrogen and progesterone do. But specifically, there's so many people, it's so vogue, like Botox, to go get a testosterone injection. Men are getting testosterone injection. Women are getting testosterone injection, where it's better, if that makes sense. It's like iron. If you're anemic, it's better to give your body folic acid, B12, give it some dandelion root, give your body some carrot powder, give it some other type of green herbs, some herbs, rather than just giving your body ferrous sulfate. You give your body the ingredients to make the iron. Does that make sense? Rather than just giving it iron, because then your body knows what to do, because your body's its own pharmacy. The same thing's true when it comes to testosterone. You've got to give it some healthy fats. Go eat some oysters. Go eat some sardines. Go eat some Brazil nuts. Go eat some pumpkin seeds. Go eat some things that are high in zinc so your body can actually make it. When you give it exogenously through a needle or through a syringe, and your body doesn't always know how it's supposed to make that. So anyway, this is Dr. Heather Cardin. My front door just opened. I'm expecting a very special guest tonight. And it's my very special guest. My son is in town. He lives in Florida, but he is stationed right now at Fort Leavenworth for a little bit. So I think he just walked in the door. So I'm going to jump off and go say hi to him. Hopefully this brought some clarity to some of your questions you've been asking about why are my hormones changing, why I'm lowering my carbohydrates in my diet. Hopefully this helped you out. And again, you want to use this energy. Again, hopefully this did help answer some of those questions you've been asking about. But as always, in good health and happiness, I'm here to help you answer some of those questions you've been super confused about in health and in fitness and in wellness. You guys have an amazing day. I will be actually traveling out to Las Vegas to meet with some of the leading thought leaders and experts in the ketogenic realm. I know the Ketogenic Therapeutic Conference is also going on this weekend, so lots of great information is going on. But I do have to say, go Chiefs. So if you're a Chiefs fan, put the football down below. Come on, if you're from Kansas City, go Chiefs, go Chiefs. You guys got to say that. So again, you guys have an amazing night. If you got questions, put it down below. And please let me know where you're joining us from. Let me know if you have questions. And again, this is always meant to be shared. If you do need references for anything that I've mentioned, let me know that as well. Some people ask, where'd you get that from? I'm absolutely happy to share that with you. Most of them are third-party clinical sites. So I always want to make sure that what I'm sharing with you is valid, reputable information. You guys have an amazing night, and I'll be seeing you soon.